Amethyst geodes are an amazing feature of the Caves and Cliffs update, but farming the crystals can be quite uncomfortable. If you want to do it manually, you have to build complex structures in order to get all of them, often having to mine the ones at the top and then drop all the way down to collect them. And automatic farms are quite complex and take hours to build. And also, they don't take advantage of the fortune tree effect, so they are not as efficient. My name is Bruno, and today I'm going to show you the design that I built on the Legacy SMP. It works on both Java and Bedrock versions of the game, and it's an intermediate point between an automatic farm and a manual one. It looks amazing, and this is how it works. You get in through here and mine the crystals. The whole geode is flooded, and this has 3 benefits. 1, you can easily reach all of them, the ones at the top and the ones at the bottom, without the need to build any kind of scaffolding. 2, we are swimming, so mining speed is reduced and you don't run the risk of accidentally breaking one of the banning amethyst blocks that can't be replaced. And 3, you don't need to worry about getting all of the items, as they will float up and get picked by these water streams and then sent to that hopper. Once you are done, you get out and all your shards will be here on this chest. And you know what's the best part about this design? It's super easy to build, so let's get to it. I suggest you watch the tutorial from start to finish at least once, so you get an understanding of how the farm works, and then you can use the markers down in the description to go to the point you're interested in. Step 1 is finding a geode. Since Minecraft 1.18 geodes only generate below Y level 30, so keep this in mind while looking for one. The location is quite important, since geodes need to be loaded in order to grow. Try to pick one that is near an area that you frequent, like your base or a project you're working on. Or if you are planning on AFKing them, try finding an area that has multiple geodes close by, so you can load all of them while you AFK. And before you get started, I also recommend you dig an easy way to access your geode from the surface. Maybe a water elevator or a staircase. Okay, you've got your geode, now what? Here are all the materials you'll need for this build. Keep in mind that the exact quantities of some of these ingredients may depend on the size of your geode. First, you need a building block. I'm going to use glass because I like to see through the walls of the farm, but you can use any full block that you desire. You can even use the natural blocks that generate around the geode and skip this, but I suggest you have some kind of block in case your geode opens up to a cave. Then we'll need a temporary block. I like using dirt because it's easy to place and break. We'll also use a block to mark certain spots on the farm. You'll also need some slabs. The exact amount will depend on the size of your geode. These are also temporary, so any type of slab will do. Then packed ice. The amount will also depend, but it will never be more than 1 stack. Some signs, and also a couple fence gates. You can use 2 or 4 depending on how big you like the entrance to be. We'll also need some stacks of kelp, 2 water buckets, 1 hopper, and 1 chest. You can also use a conduit, and even though it's optional, I highly recommend you get one so you don't drown. Those are all the materials, so let's get started. Once you got everything, the next step is to dig the area around the geode in order to prepare it for the build. First, remove all the amethyst and calcite blocks, being extremely careful not to break the budding amethyst blocks, the ones that have a cross, as these are the blocks that will grow crystals. Once you're done, your geode will look something like this. Now we need to dig a box around the geode, and in order to determine its size, we need to find the bounds of the geode. We'll do it like this. First, find the lowest budding amethyst block. In this case, we have all of these at the same level. Then go 1 block lower and 1 more block lower, like this, making sure to leave space for the crystals to grow. This block here will mark the height of the floor of your box, so make sure to fill all the extra spaces, just like this. Now for the walls, we'll do the same. Go to one side and try to find the budding amethyst block that is the further out. In this case, is this one, right here. Leave 1 space of air over here, and then place a marker block 1 block further out. We can remove this. This will mark your wall. Now you can go ahead and fill it like this. Same thing for this wall. In this case, it's these 2. We place 1, 2 blocks, remove this one, and fill the spaces. And then we'll repeat the process on the rest of the walls. Once you're done, your walls should look something like this, each with a marker block indicating where the edge of the box is. Now we need to go up and do the same for the top, but this one is a little bit different. We'll find the highest block. In this case, is this one's over here. Again, leave a space and place a marker block on the top. We can remove this. But on this case, we'll also need to dig up 4 more blocks. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And place a marker block there. That block will mark the roof of your farm, but when you dig, make sure to keep this one over here to remember this height. Once you got the walls and the roof marked, it's time to get to digging. We'll need to remove all the blocks inside the walls we marked. This is the only grindy part about this farm, so I'll be right back. We are back, and the walls have been completely dug. As you can see, they are in line with the marker blocks we said before. But if your geode is like mine and opens up to a cave, we'll need to go up there and close those walls. I'm going to fill the map using glass because I like being able to see outside of the geode. There we go, this wall has been filled along with this one and the roof. Now we go back down and we also need to fill the entrance, but here we'll do something different. I recommend you leave an opening here with 2 fence gates like this so you can get in and out. Because now that we have all the walls finished, it's time to flood the geode. And we'll do this using kelp. This is a good moment to set up your conduit near your geode. I have mine over here. This will make everything way easier. For flooding the geode, we'll need your 2 water buckets and the kelp. I also suggest you equip a Respiration 3 helmet if you don't have a conduit. We'll start by placing a water bucket on a corner and 2 blocks next to it, just like this. Now we'll have a source in the middle that we can pick up, and then we'll repeat the process for the entire bottom level. There we go. Once you've done 2 sides, the whole thing should flood, and you'll have this bottom layer of water. Now we'll refill our water buckets and go to one side. Standing 1 block from the wall, we'll start clearing up. And we'll go up to the same level that we marked before with this marker block over here. So, 1 more. There we go. At this level, we'll make a square 1 block from the wall, like this, all around the geode. Once you're done, it should look something like this, 1 block from the wall. And now 1 block down, and right next to the wall, we'll place another square of temporary blocks all the way around. And now it should look something like this. And we'll use this space over here to create more water sources all around the geode. I'll replace this. We'll keep on going all the way around. And finally, it should look like this with water all around. It's time to remove the temporary blocks that we placed, so all the water will flow down. Let's break the last one. And now it should look like this. If you use, like me, a pillar to go up, it's time to remove it. There's something you may notice if you use torches like me to light the geode, and it's that it's completely dark now. It's a good moment to break some blocks on the wall and place other light sources like glowstone to keep it illuminated. Now go to each corner and place 1 kelp and bring it all the way up as high as you can. There we go. And we'll repeat the process on each corner. It will now look like this with a pillar of kelp on each corner of the geode. Now go against the wall and place 1 kelp every other block so you leave 1 space free in the middle. Just like this, and now we'll bring all of these kelps all the way to the top. If you find yourself with a situation like this, where one of the crystals is blocking the water from coming down, you'll need to swim up here and remove it, so the water falls down. Now you'll have a wall of kelp just like this. What the kelp does is create water sources all along that wall. It's time to remove the kelp and pick it back up so we can reuse it. Now go to one of the corners of the wall from which we remove the kelp and replace that block over there. And we'll do the same process of placing kelp every 2 blocks all the way over here. You may also find yourself in a situation where you place kelps and you have 2 right next to each other, just like this at the corner. Don't worry about it, it doesn't affect anything. And we'll repeat this process for the other walls. Make sure you don't skip any wall because we need water sources all around. At this point, because we place water sources all along the wall, your geode should be flooded like this, all with source blocks. We can now safely remove the marker block we placed before, and the farm, as it is now, it's already functional. You can already break the crystals and they will float up, but you can collect them. But we'll take this 1 step further. It's time to install the collection system that will gather the items for us. Now we need to look for the wall that is the shortest. In this case, it's this one over here. And looking at our entrance, we'll pick the direction in which we want the items to flow. From here to here. We'll go to the corner where we want the water streams to flow from, and we'll place a slab 2 blocks from the top, just like this, and they will count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and on the 8th one we'll place a marker block. We'll get our temporary blocks and bring this all the way back to this other wall. We'll place a temporary block to climb up. We can now break it. And once we're up here, we'll place slabs all on this level. Once you're done, it will look like this. And now it's time to make a second layer, 1 block below, right here. Your geode will now look something like this. It's time to get our water buckets and place water sources all over this side. Once you're done, it will look like this, and all the water streams will stop right here. We'll refill our buckets and repeat the process down here against these blocks. Once you're done, you'll have the water streams looking something like this. We'll go to the wall where the water streams are flowing to, and we'll dig 2 blocks in all along this wall. It should now look like this. We'll remove the first line of blocks after our slabs, all the way over here, just like this, and over here we'll place packed ice, all the way over here. Now we'll get our signs and place them all over the wall. It should look like this and stop the water right here. Now right here we'll dig 2 blocks down, all the way over to the wall, just like this, and we'll dig down 1 more block over here and place packed ice at this level. It should now look like this. If you found that the area you dug opens up to a cave or a mine shaft, make sure to close it using blocks. Now our entrance was over to this way, so we'll go to the opposite one and place a water bucket over here. Now we'll get a slab and place it right on top of the last block of water. We'll get a sign and place it right here, and a second water bucket, and we'll place it against the wall. And right at the end we'll place 1 more sign, just like this, so the water stream will stop right here. We need to remove this block of ice, and this is where the items will flow down. We can now use our waterlogged slab to climb up here, refill our buckets using these water sources, and we'll come and dig out this first block right here, and we'll use it to go down underneath. You will notice that these slabs are not waterlogged, and the same with these ones over here. It's time to take care of that. We'll get our water buckets and place 1 in the corner, and 2 blocks from that. We shall now get our water source in the middle, and we'll repeat all this again all the way over here and over here. We'll remove the marker block that we said before and waterlog that spot too. Even if it looks like it has water, it's important to waterlog it. We'll take one of these water sources and do the same for this wall over here. Now all this should be waterlogged. If you don't have a conduit and you're drowning, remember that you can come over here and breathe. Now we'll do the same over on this wall. Refill your water bucket and place sources all along this wall. And all of this should fill just like this. We'll go up using the block we broke before. And now it's time to remove all the slabs and all the temporary blocks from over here. So I'll get to do that and I'll be right back. Once you removed all the slabs and all the blocks, your geode should look like this. And we are almost finished. Now we only have to put the hopper that will collect the items and we are done. If you come over here and you stand on top of the packed ice, you'll notice that the hole where the items will go to is on the last block of the wall, 1 block over to this side. With that in mind, we'll go back to the entrance. And right here, on the wall of the farm, we'll dig out 1 block to the side and 1 block in. This spot should correspond with the hole we dug up there. Now we go inside the farm one last time, swim up here, come back to the hole and dig down, and it should connect with the space we just dug out. If in your case this tunnel opens up to a cave over here and you don't have these walls, you'll have to replace them using any random block. But you'll need to have closed walls over here so the items only fall down this tube. We'll make some space over here to place our output chests, just like this. Now we'll break this block over here and place a block of glass so we can now place a chest and open it without a problem. We'll go over here to this side, get our hopper and place it right here. And that is it. Our farm is now complete. Of course that if you have more chests, you can expand this storage by placing a second glass block over here and a second chest right on the side. And if we make more space, you can even place more chests underneath that. With another hopper just like this, you can expand this downwards as much as you want. In order to use this farm properly, I highly recommend you get an Aqua Affinity Helm with Respiration if you don't have a conduit, and a Fortune 3 pickaxe without efficiency. This is so we don't accidentally break the budding amethyst blocks. Once you get your gear, you get in and mine the fully grown crystals. They will float up, as you see, and get carried over there. In some cases, if you are breaking the crystals and the needed binding blocks, some of the items might get stuck over here. Make sure to pick them up manually. In some cases, the items may also bounce against this wall and go down. If this happens, don't worry. They will float back up and get carried by the water streams. After mining for a while, come back here and make sure all the items are getting sent to this chest. If you want to see a more advanced version of this farm, check out the video where I build it on survival on the Legacy SMP. And that is it. I really hope you found this farm useful and build it on your world. Make sure to hit that like button if you enjoyed the tutorial, and also subscribe to my channel because I will be uploading more tutorials like this in the future. My name is Bruno and I am out. Goodbye!